symbol of oppression, where 1,000 men have languished under the name of this man, who has been held up to you as the shining example of justice. You have been supplied with a false idol to stop you tearing down this corrupt city. Let me tell you the truth. It is time to trust the people of Gotham with the truth. And do you accept this man's resignation? And do you accept the resignation of all of these liars? Of all the corrupt? The powerful will be ripped from their decadent lives. We take Gotham from the corrupt. The oppressors of generations who have kept you down with myths of opportunity, and we give it back to you, the people.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a wonderful night tonight. Tonight, we are going to be talking about, not this one actually, babe, the one that's in the freezer. My wife is handing me something. I let her out of the basement to grab me a drink. But tonight we are, I'm really sorry, guys. It's time to come clean. The ride is officially over. It had to happen. Karma had to catch up with me, and I've been completely viciously exposed, canceled, and left bare for the world to see. And so tonight we're going to go over exactly what that entails in hopefully the least amount of cringe-inducing manner that I can. So I'm very sorry that this is the end of the line. This is the last stream. I will be tendering my resignation at the end of this because I simply cannot continue on after such a vicious, terrifyingly efficient beatdown of myself and my community. So, before we get into that though, Richard and John, how's it going, man?
Going pretty good. It was raining all day near me, so I really didn't do much of anything at work.
Oh,
it's
nice.
It's Jover. I'm sad for the loss, but it's been a good run.
Yeah, it was a good time. You know, we had a good audience here. We had some good times, but we joked a little too close to the sun. It's a sad day. Now, John, are you familiar with some of the happenings over the last couple days?
Me? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's super cool, super awesome.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, me too. Let me see here. Let me go to share this up. So, it really started with this gentleman, Practical Shooting Insights. Now, this man has been known for exposing the USPSA corruption in the organization, which is a good work. It's a good job. He's also helped me personally with some of the SIG stuff as well. But then, you know, these people, these journalists, as they're known, they just keep digging. And well, they digged into our dirty laundry, as it was, and they are now conducting an official investigation of FocusTripp, which is why we got to shut it down before they find anything too dark and disturbing. So first he went after Ben Steger, which was a bit interesting. Now, me and Ben are acquaintances. I've met him. I've been to his stuff. He's been very nice to me. We talk relatively often, or at least DM relatively often. But PSI decided to go down this rabbit hole of calling out what he feels is bad behavior. And bad behavior specifically from one side of the aisle. I'll let you figure out what that is. Now, thank you for that. Now, that's a perfect gif. Yes, perfect. Now, Ben, he got exposed. He said the N-word in a Facebook post in 2020. And so PSI went after quite literally everybody he worked with, all of his companies, all the other trainers, like every single one of them, to try and get them to cancel Ben Steger for saying the N-word in a Facebook post in 2020. Now, I know some of you are shocked and aghast that someone would use that venomous vernacular to exact vengeance upon, the black population in 2020. But to the rest of us, maybe it's just not that big of a deal. To be fair, I've seen more N-words today in my chat than Ben has ever said in his entire life, okay? Not that would be a problem if he had said more, right? Professional shooter, trainer, and author Ben Steger uses the N-word in a social media post. And everybody that's been telling him, bro, who cares, has either been getting blocked or put up on his story or anything else like that. Now, there's more drama surrounding Ben, which if I want to summate that really quickly, it would simply be that Ben's a horn dog.
A sober
and
one.
That's and that's and that's the end of the story. It's there you go. Yep. And in 2020, he said the N-word. Listen, if PewDiePie can get away with it, I can get away with it. Okay, everybody can get away with it. We all have the pass.
We can also summarize the Ben Steger incident by saying the belt stays on, baby.
The belt stays on, which I do recommend you look into that because it is it's funny. It's funny, but that wasn't far enough. Now, again, keep in mind that I've talked to PSI before, Practical Shooting Insights. I've talked to him. We've had conversations about things. He's worked on some of the SIG stuff. He's done some of the FOIA requests. He's done relatively good work in the past. So this tirade against mean words, which he's going full bore down the words are bad and I will cancel you for them pipeline. But he's also targeting somebody else. And I'll let you guess who that may or may not be. So here he says, I am logging traffic on a Discord now associated with a somewhat popular streamer in the 2A/Christian nationalist movement. Okay. Now, I'm not really insulted because somewhat popular is accurate. I'm somewhat popular. I'm more hated than loved, I would say. So I would say begrudgingly somewhat popular. Now, 2A/Christian nationalist movement, that's just accurate. So I don't have any complaints with anything like that. I am in general. It's supposed to be an insult. I'm in general a 2A supporter, and I think that Christian nations are the best nations, and the more Christian nation it is, usually the better it tends to be. So defining me as a Christian nationalist, cool, no problem. But here's another little issue. Now, he's going after people in my Discord server for saying mean words. So he's mapping it to individuals for a story that I'm working on. He's doing the deep dive on Discord degeneracy and letting you know that people say mean words on the internet. For a story that I'm working on, the amount of violence. Now, again, these are just words. There is no violence. Listen, if I say, what's a funny thing? John looking all relaxed in my room, next time I see him, I'm going to run him over with a truck. That's not actually violence. And that, I think most people would assume that that's a joke, right? But he takes everything incredibly literal. And yeah, I would say fair as well. But he takes everything incredibly literal. And hate expressed towards minority and other groups is wild. Now, if you're not familiar with...
have a good time.
It's called having a little fun. Now, if you're not familiar, Discord is a semi-public place. You have to pass a TARD test, which does negate most of the general populace from actually getting in. But there's 1,000 people in there. At one point, there was 1,200 people in there. So people saying mean things online, and we let people on our server say just about anything.
As long as it's not breaking TOS.
Correct.
Say whatever.
Aside from direct calls to action, we allow. It is free speech. It is worse than Twitter.
It's very free speech. All we ask is that people don't break TOS, and we enforce TOS to Discord's rules as as we interpret them. Now, there are a couple edgy boys on there, that try and push the line. That try and, see how far they can get each other. And so they end up saying some very wacky things. But it's important to remember that this is the internet. This is a place for wacky things. Words are not violence. This is not real life. These are edgy boys trying to one-up each other. Okay.
It's no worse than an Instagram Reels comment section.
Oh, yeah, dude, Instagram is full of some of the funniest stuff you will ever find. And it's funny that he's on Instagram complaining about this. Now, his Instagram account was huge, 45,000 followers. But he gets less interaction than like mine, which is 1/10 his size. And as you'll see here, his post at the time of screenshot, because he blocked me, he had 107 likes, and my comment had 150 likes. So he was ratioed in terms of comments and in terms of likes on comments versus his actual post. Because again, welcome to the internet. This is not 2004. This is 2025, and people do have the ability, whether you like it or not, to say things that might be a little bit naughty. All right. The amount of violence and hate expressed towards minorities and other groups is wild. Many anti-Semitic remarks and racial slurs. Oy vey. Oy vey.
Oh, no.
Now, again, racial slurs to him are like the epitome of evil or something like that. Even though he's friends with people advocating for genital mutilation of children. Which is a little awkward, but mean words, those pesky old words, that pesky mockery of evil. Can't be doing that now. Can't be calling out my friends. Discord is a major radicalizing medium for both the alt-left and the alt-right. Now, he is indirectly calling me alt-right, calling me a Nazi in not as many words, and remember that these people celebrate the deaths of who they consider alt-right and Nazis, and if I were to meet an untoward end, they would certainly celebrate mine. It's a simple dehumanizing tactic that these people employ, while supposedly holding the moral high ground. Yeah, quote me, queer. All right, let me see here. Okay, so now the reason why we know that this is my Discord server is because he posted my Discord server on here. So
Also,
not only did
he
he
uses white mode.
Well, we'll
no,
get
he
to
uses
that in a minute.
it's a scrubbing tool. So he has somebody in the server, and they scrubbed all the chat logs. So listen, to PSI, listen, okay? You should just publish them. It's some of the most unhinged, funny, wacky stuff you can find anywhere on the internet. So if you're into absurdism or just wacky shenanigans, like if he publishes all the chat logs, go in there and read them. You'll probably laugh if you're not, well, queer. Yeah, well, that too. You'll probably have a good time. And yeah, to be clear, he did block me, which deleted my comment off of his page, which is big sad. But you can see, he's just...
That was the only way he could get around the ratioing.
He got ratioed by everyone. And so everybody that was on his page was basically calling him out for being a little gay. It's like, hey, you did really good work on USPSA corruption. Can you go back to that? There are more important issues than actual corruption. There's bad words being said in a Discord server, which again, just welcome to 2007.
Yeah. Edgy jokes are worse than corruption within an organization. That's really cool.
Bad words, the occasional slur called to each, refer to each other with affectionate slurs, I guess you could say. And then the heated debates, such as what's better, waffles or pancakes?
Yeah, no. People will call them. Listen, people will call each other slurs on my Discord for no reason whatsoever. They will get into the most heated exchange and threaten violence. Again, these are all jokes. Like, we get it, right? If I threaten to, immolate you live on TV for disagreeing with me about pancakes, you can assure yourself that that is a absurdist joke, right?
Yeah, I did in fact tell someone to fight me earlier because pancakes are not better than waffles.
Wait, so you agreed to mutual combat? Are you going to meet up?
Yes.
Will this statement hold up in a court of law?
Pull up, bro. Post the addy.
Yeah. All right. Well, actually, here's a little exercise. So, as a joke, I'm going to say, which is better? Waffles or pancakes? And we will genocide the losing party. All right, so outright Jew hatred is pretty much standard these days, unfortunately. I just started a new account for just my gun stuff and followed a lot of people that are followed by many big 2A accounts. The anti-Jew hate on that feed is like a fire hose. Yes, and just because it's common doesn't make it right. It should be called out as wrong whenever it is out there. Otherwise, it will just fester and become accepted. Now, usually what these people do when they're talking about Jew hatred or anti-Semitism or something like that, usually all they mean is a little bit of noticing, like, hey, maybe Israel shouldn't have... Maybe Israel shouldn't have so much influence on our politics in the Middle East. Just simple things like that. Hey, what's with all these, directors and banks being owned by some of the same people? Like, it just seems a little odd, right? Some of these investment firms, whatever it might be. But usually they're like, well, if you notice these things, if you say these things out loud, that's a heckin' anti-Semitism. And you're going to go to the jail for misquoting the 6 billion that died in the Holocaust. I think it was 6 billion, right?
Yeah,
you will have to go to jail and watch Boy in Striped Pajamas on repeat for 150 hours.
Yeah, 6 quintillion that died in the Holocaust. I forgot about that. My bad.
More every year.
Never mention the 30 million that died in the Holodomor by atheist communists. A dub.
Cannibalism.
Followed this account for exposing USPSA corruption, leaving because of all the recent posts are rife with gossip. The TMZ of practical shooting. Please see yourself out. Thanks. Smug lefty vibes. Now, this is our resident Zorp, Mr. Jake. Says, my pearls are clutched in regards to Ben Steger saying the N-word in 2020. Yeah. Who cares? And then he posts him on his story as if to, own him. And then what he always does... What a lot of these people always do is they say, oh, you say a mean word, or you say you're not interested in a witch hunt over syllables coming out of one's mouth. Well, you're not a true Christian, because a true Christian would allow the mutilation of children and the debasement of your currency, but they would never say a mean word or criticize certain individuals. They would never do that.
True Christians never fight for what they believe in, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, they would never brandish whips and kick people out of temples for doing certain things. As a Jew in the shooting community, it's incredibly demoralizing to see how much people hate me for just being Jewish. Nobody hates you for being Jewish. It's the way you act. But no, but nobody actually hates Jews for just being Jews. There are a few people like the alt-right, real Nazis do exist, right? And there are some people out there that believe that all Jews are ontologically evil just by nature. And that's not me. And I know that that's disappointing to some of my alt-right fanboys in the chat right now. But I'll take the hardline stance that not all Jews are ontologically evil.
We hate you for the content of your character.
Let's see. Unsurprised by the comments on this post. Very sad to see, indeed. Now, here's a funny one. And one of the problems is few people want to speak up because they get smeared and bullied for it. Almost anywhere else, people would still get reprimanded or fired. So in a way, that this comment is hearted by PSI, of course. He's advocating for the firing of these people for, again, bad opinions according to you, right? People hold bad opinions. They say mean words. They deserve to be homeless on the streets or maybe even assassinated, because of their hateful rhetoric. A lot of these people in these last couple weeks said, you know what? Charlie Kirk deserved it. He had hateful rhetoric, and that led to somebody being radicalized against him to take him out. So really, when you think about it, it was Charlie Kirk's fault that he got shot.
Yeah, what a gay opinion.
Definitely. And there are more and more psychos every day.
Samarando 69, which is probably in our chat right now, says, to who? I care about USPSA corruption more than I care about end chains or end towers. End towers is the correct term, sir. Get it right. Your end chains, stolen valor. I'm glad you think I care about your opinion, as you respond and block everybody that disagrees with you and then post it on your stories. So maybe
he
I'm
also
thinking
responded within 46 seconds of seeing this.
The other one was 6 seconds.
Now, this is funny. So I'll give you another bit of it. No one cares after the last few weeks. We watched 2 gruesome murders widely publicized, and you're over here blaming people for feeling wronged. It's a bad look. And Samarando69, or Practical Shooting Insights, responds, what does that have to do with discussing the extermination of Jews and joking about kicking pregnant women of a certain race? I don't know why he says of a certain race. Why couldn't he just say black girl?
Black woman. Yeah, I didn't get that either.
So one of the guys in our Discord made a joke about it's a untoward joke. It might be a little off-putting to some of you, but again, one of our resident edgy boys made a joke that you don't like.
Well,
what out of our 1,000 people in our Discord made a joke that you don't like? And again, it's just jokes.
Do you have the screenshot for the context? Because it really is hilarious.
I don't have the screenshot for it handy.
Silly. I'll explain, summarize. Somebody hurt their leg. Another person asked, well, what'd you do to your leg? Another guy in chat immediately replied with, he kicked a pregnant woman.
Oh my gosh.
Pregnant black woman. As just a joke about how the guy
hurt his leg. Yeah, no, that sounds pretty evil. I think that guy should lose his job and be doxxed for it. And keep in mind that this PSI guy is going through my Discord scrubbing chat logs. How sheltered and silly of a life do you have to have where this is the biggest thing that you worry about is somebody in a Discord making a joke that you don't like?
He was quite literally spurging out over somebody not moderating their Discord enough. This is the gayest thing ever.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there are other Discord servers in the 2A space who still have people applauding the Charlie Kirk assassination in their servers.
Well, we might get to that because he might be following some people who and talking and interacting and supporting some people who celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. So remember, mean words, heckin' bad, political assassination, super wholesome. Let's go, baby.
You can't make a joke about Jews, but we can celebrate when you die for having mild
we can celebrate when your wife and 2 young children. We'll celebrate when your wife and 2 young children never get to see their father again. That's a good thing to these people. Now, another thing that they always do, they always pivot to, what's unfortunate is this group, referring to us, proclaims to be Christian, and all they do is twist their beliefs in a disgusting way to justify their hate. They're not Christian by any reasonable definition. Now, I want to be clear that you don't get to define, as somebody outside of Christianity, you don't get to define what Christianity is. If you look in historical context of Samuel's mockery of the prophets of Baal, and the prophets of Baal were known for sacrificing children to demons, much like the current Planned Parenthood, where black children have a 50-50 chance of being aborted or being born. So maybe those prophets of Baal would be ashamed of how evil the modern West is. How about that? And Samuel openly mocked them. Christ mocked the Pharisees and the Sadducees and so on and so forth. So mockery of evil is a Christian tradition, and it will continue whether you like it or not, even if you find some of the words a little mean sometimes, right?
Don't
and to be fair
too,
what To be fair, on my public Discord, we have atheists, we have Jews, we have Muslims, and we have Norse pagans. Now, those were all different ways of saying cringe and gay, but we have all of those people on our Discord, so I don't even know if the person that you're referencing this joke from, what his religious affiliation is. So, I mean,
yeah. If it was Gopnik, he's Jewish. Like, it's absurd. The amount of time that this guy is spending trying to blow this up into something that it's not.
Yeah. No, Matt, this guy is speaking on behalf of all Jews. All Jews know that you can't make jokes about them. Yeah. To be fair, I think we have 2 Jews. We have 2 Jews on the Discord.
Sure. I think there's 3. I
don't know who the third one is.
Can we get a fact check on if Practical Shooting Insights kissed the wall?
The Black Queen Vintage Warfare is a Hebrew Israelite, so technically Jewish.
That's true.
So Noob Actual says, I don't think Christians should be vulgar. I disagree. So, for instance, if you look at what Samuel did when he was mocking the prophets of Baal, he specifically said, maybe you should be louder. You know, maybe your God can't hear you. And then he says, maybe he's taking a dump. So, I mean, do you want to call that vulgar by those standards? When Christ went after the Pharisees and Sadducees, he called them whitewashed tombs and a den of vipers, I want to say, which would get you killed back in those days. If you said those words to those people, you would be killed for that. So that would be insanely vulgar back in those days, according to ancient standards, right? So vulgarity being used by Christians to mock evil has a historical context. Now, you could say that Christians need to be gentler in their dispensation of the truth. You can make that argument, and I think that is a fair critique of mine, and I could always learn to speak the truth in love rather than just purely for my own enjoyment of making fun of someone. And I think that is a really good critique of mine personally. But again, you can't even apply it to the rest of the Discord, because the rest of the Discord it's not a Christian Discord server. It's just a bunch of people that happen to be in the same space and time. That's it.
It's a GunTube Discord server where you don't get censored for making edgy jokes.
Correct.
It's really all it is.
Take your sensitive ass back to brass facts, okay? If you think that's what we're going to do here. If you want to get censored, go somewhere else. Hunter Freeland Shooting says, wild that you saw all the stuff going on in the world and decided to invest all your spare time into exposing white Christian nationalists, quote unquote. Now, again, all those things are true. I am white, I am Christian, and I am a nationalist. So slapping a bunch of things together doesn't offend me. It's just correct, right? What makes you the great mediator of morality? Are you the most virtuous? Responding to PSI. Do you really want to defend an open discussion of exterminating Jews and kicking pregnant women of a certain race? And again, I don't know why he keeps saying of a certain race. He means somebody made a joke that somebody hurt their leg by kicking a black pregnant lady, which, yes, is an absurdist joke. It is taking things as so far outside of the realm of normalcy that it's funny because of the absurdity, right? And that's the sort of edgy things that our boys get up to.
What is also funny about that joke was that it was posted within about 4 seconds.
Somebody had that keyed up ready to go. Now, maybe that's a window into the mind of that person that they had. That was the first thing they thought of, right? But that is the sort of, our Discord is one of the last attics that hasn't been checked yet by the Discord Jannies, I suppose. Do you have any degens in your attic, huh? Just a few.
Any funny jokes?
Yeah, so there are a couple degenerates in the publicly available general areas because it's the internet.
All right, so now he's trying to poke the bear, I guess, here by saying we have access to the moderator and VIP Discord channels is a wonderful thing, or says having access to those channels is a wonderful thing. He doesn't. He's just trying to get people to poke the bear a little bit. As far as I'm aware, he has no access to the VIP areas, which is just people that support on Subscribestar or are mega based. They can hang out in the VIP area, and there's only like 6 moderators. So as far as I'm aware, he doesn't. He just is blowing smoke, trying to provoke a reaction. But the guy is also just a straight up liar. Just a straight up liar. He says, watching them kick people out is hilarious. Now I can read my response in the moderator only zone. I think I gave it very eloquently. Let me see what I said. Good. Don't kick anyone. Who cares? That was my response in the moderator only zone. So yeah, no, we don't kick anyone. We did a purge of inactive accounts like a month ago, where we kicked like 300 people who had never commented in there, but this was long before any of this stuff popped up.
And that's something that I have been planning to do since June. Yeah.
Yes, Vintage, the guy is like 50. Now, we don't dox here, so I don't even need to mention his name, but people know who he is. He's just a person who's been around. And then the icing on the cake, the little bit of irony posting that I don't think he understood was actually irony posting, but was this. He that would make his own liberty secure must guard even his enemy from oppression, for if he violates this duty, he establishes a precedent that will reach to himself. The irony here is that this is from Thomas Paine, right? The irony here is he's calling for the deplatforming or the exposing or the firing of people for making edgy jokes on a Discord, while saying that, you know, he has to guard, like we have to guard our enemies, which is a tell, and I'll get into why in just a minute. You have to guard your enemy from oppression so that it doesn't get applied to you. But these sort of evil people will tell you that you have to do this, right? Otherwise, you're like not a good person. But they will use your morality against them, and you do not owe them the kindness of that. They have set the rules of the game, and you will play it, right? You can play it according to the rules that they foist upon you, or according to the rules of the game itself. And if they want to escalate and to use these tactics that they've used for years and months and decades. If you remember, not too long ago, they wanted you banned, kicked out of society for not accepting certain jabs or whatnot. They wanted you taken away from your children. They wanted your kids in camps. This happened in other places like Australia and whatnot. So remember, these are the types of people that you're dealing with. As soon as they get any sort of pushback on their own, they'll be like, "No, you guys, you have to protect us. So you don't want to be hypocritical now. You don't want to, you need to stick to your heckin' principles or something like that." And then as soon as you give them that hand up, well, they use the other to stab you in the back.
Real quick interjection. They banned the sitting president of the United States from social media. And now they are crying about censorship.
Well, remember when a sitting vice president asked for it, or whatever Kamala Harris was at the time, she asked for it. She said, "No, you guys should ban." Pick. Yeah, no kidding.
Oh now, no, I said that on live stream. He's gonna come after me. This is awful.
Yeah, you can't say Kamala Harris was DEI. Now, did he actually? I saw Rads in chat. Did he actually take down his page? Gosh dang it. Fair enough. Fine. Whatever, dude. Now he's blocked me. So as you can see, this is our extent of our contact starting on August 4th. Now I'm not doxing his DMs because his are all gone because he blocked me. So he pointed out that Phil was going to be doing an interview on Hunter's HD Gold that I was going to cover, and we had a little bit of a conversation. Of course, all of his stuff is gone. I did ask him, hey, you want to have a live chat at some point? If you're going to call me out on things, I think you should have the balls to come in and have a conversation with me as well. Surely you wouldn't be one of those losers who hides behind a keyboard like the people you're calling out.
Stand on business.
You wouldn't be a hypocrite, would you? But to me, he's probably something more akin to...
Kill yourself, faggot.
Oh, ooh. Who played that? Unbelievable.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad. But yeah, so apparently now there is a website. It's InstaPV that will allow you to see all of his stuff, even if he's blocked you, because he's blocked me, of course. But apparently his whole page has gone down. So he got reverse bullied into taking everything down. Can I see any of his stuff? Because he was getting ratioed hard.
Rightfully so. I mean, this is a grown-ass man
super.
who is worried about the jokes of 20-something-year-old dudes.
Yeah, his page is still up. Why can't I get it then? I'll have to try and... Okay, well, we'll let that refresh for a second, see if I can get it. Okay, Subarctic Psycho, before we even streamed. Very happy, very glad to be here. Happy you're here, Subarctic Psycho. Art Vandalay for 2 says, official time over-under is 5.5 minutes tonight, ends at standby. I think I was a little behind that, so I think anybody saying over was correct. Matty Bizcool, new member. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Deer Hunter for $20. Thank you. Says, can't stay for the stream, but I'll be sure to catch the VOD on my way to work. You degens have a good night, and God bless. Well, God bless you too, Deer Hunter. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Hope you're having a good day at work. So, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of evil people that we interact with here. Are my evil blue-collar supporters. Noob Crastinator over on Ko-Fi says, finally catching another live, so returning just another tiny fraction of your tax dollars. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Huge ass for 3 over on Ko-Fi says, let me see here. Niger Sims, keep walking. This is a white boy summer neighborhood. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, huge ass. I appreciate it. Pinochet says, PRI, courtesy of Martin Luther's recorded insults, you are more corrupt than any Babylonian or Sodom ever was, and as far as I can see, are characterized by a completely depraved, hopeless, and notorious godlessness. The freedom of a Christian. Thank you. Appreciate that. Subarctic Psycho for 5 over on Ko-Fi says, violent language, ? I'll show you violent language. PSI is a small homosexual fago? Is that how you say that? Dick slurping bitch who needs his head rattled by a white Christian nationalist. Oh, thank you, Subarctic. Well, never beating the allegations after that one. Paps Blue Ribbon says PSI needs a bit of... I think he's referring to painted nails. I think that's what Paps Blue Ribbon is referring to there. I'm glad you guys can't see these. So some of these are not YouTube appropriate. I have to do a little bit of self-censorship there. But I think Paps implied that he wanted to get his nails done. I think that's what he said.
Calling him a bundle of sticks or something to that effect.
I just checked and his Instagram is still up, so.
Okay. Well, can you share your screen? Does that work for you?
I think I can. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. Because I want to go through the comments on there, because obviously mine are gone, sadly, but other people's still remain.
Let me see if I can get there. All right. Hold on.
You're good. Take your time, Boomer.
Yeah, it's not going to let me see the comments without signing in.
Oh, really? That's tragic. Yeah. Well, that means you're probably not banned. I'm trying to get it to refresh. Noob Actual says, my point is more using the big 4-letter words in your common vernacular, but even so, using those words against evil seems self-defeating. Well, but even that is subjective. Now, I do agree that having control over the tongue is the hardest part of the body to control, right? Controlling what you say, what comes out when you're, subconsciously or whatnot. I think that is a very difficult thing for a lot of people to master. That being said, I wouldn't rule out the use of certain words in certain contexts just because it's subjectively offensive to some people for some reason, right? In general, though, yes, I agree that we should be very controlled of our tongues and very limiting on what we say. Yeah, I still can't get into it, so whenever... It just says server error here. Maybe I'm gonna try a different platform real fast. See if I can get it over here. Unbelievable. Thank you, Christian. All right. Are you working on it, Richard?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I'm getting it. Sorry.
Very good. Chad for 2 says, my favorite Bane was Gypsy Crusaders version. Pregnant black emoji, actually. So careful with that one. Somebody might have hurt their foot on that one. Israel. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it, man. The light spore for 2 says, controversy is John being late as usual. I am always functionally late. How about that?
Running on that melanated time.
Functionally late, functionally retarded. What do you want from me? Thank you, the light spore. Huge ass for 20. Thank you. Says, you know how bad it's getting with Jewish interference in this country? Normies at my local range were talking about something needing to be done to stop it. And that's the thing. Noticing the fact that Israel and AIPAC somehow has influence over like 70 to 80% of the country's politicians, like, not a bad thing. That's just people noticing the reality of the situation. So if you're upset with that, like, that's on you, you know.
They may have overextended just a little bit.
Just a little bit. They may have caught a little too hard in the paint. Gotten a little too wacky for their own good. Okay, here we go. So why do I have it on this but not over there? Let me see if I can share this real fast. It's going to look super awkward, but that's fine. Let me see. Share screen. Window. This one should work. Okay, so here we go. We got it. So yeah, so this is the original account, and again, I'm blocked, so I have to use this other website to actually get to any of the content on there. Can we get rid of this?
No, never.
The ads are what makes it free.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but I on my other website on Brave, I could get it to go without ads, but now it's just saying server error over there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so this guy says first time on Discord. Very true. Now, LA progressive shooters. I'm not sure if it was this guy or one of the other guys, but there's a couple of these guys, maybe it was Deshaun, but a couple of these guys celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. So the only people interested in mean words online, ironically, also support political assassination and celebrating the death of a father. Thank you and much respect for being an unapologetic voice for what needs to be said in the 2A community. This just in, water is wet and more to follow. Calling out all those involved. Yeah, I think that might guy. Looks like they brought the bigots out in full force. They're big mad. Yeah, the bigots, big mad, gentlemen. Let's see here. Yeah, lefty shoots some poor bastard in the neck in front of his children. Better look into right-wingers saying no words. It's like when that's your priority after an event like that, like directly after, like it says more about you than anything else.
God forbid somebody post an American History X edit, okay? Come on.
Yeah. Now, again, they did, this guy, Perry from Soma, says, he looks like you think you would, says, DM if you need help dumping and scraping Discord, which they've already done. They have all the chat logs. I'm not worried about it. Oh, I have to ask to get all the replies, so I can't even see them all on there. Tragic and lame. All right. Bulge deep in vagina. Yeah. Bulge deep in vagina for 2 says, the basement is a sandwich factory. Very true. Chud McGill for 2 says, yeah, Nigel, we racist. Keep scrolling. Many emojis to follow. Thank you, Chud. We're all Chuds here. Battle Rifles for 5 says, we had the New York Times try to put us on blast over be a man among men and the FALs we make after a church shooting. By the way, it had zero negative impact on sales. Well, no, of course not. It's only good for me, right? These, this retard, right? This person pearl clutching about mean words said on a Discord server with 1,000 people on it. It only helps me, like quite literally. There's nothing, because anybody on his side watching my content would not be watching it for long, or they would just be hate watching. Oh, hey, look, Richard's got it.
Hey, it took me a little while, but I figured it out.
He figured it out.
All right, well, scroll through his comments.
I'm getting there.
Fine. Thank you, Battle Rifles.
All right. Let me know which one sounds where it's.
Well, it's kind of. Let me pull it up here. I actually need to make that bigger so I can read it now. Yeah, keep scrolling down. Scroll down a little more. All right, a little more. Load more. Keep going.
Hold on. No, that's it. That's
no.
it.
Did he delete all
comments
of them?
on this post have been limited?
Oh, come on.
What a
dude! There were
guy.
So many more. Okay, go up.
Yeah, he disabled it.
Okay, no, wait a second. Click on Deshaun Johnson shooting. Click on that guy. Click on his account. Go to his account. That's not it. Nope. Go back. Just click on his account. So click on the name itself.
What the hell?
Boomer tries to use
There you go. Now
technology
you're on his account.
colorized.
All right, scroll down a little bit. Okay, no, it's not this guy. Go back. There was somebody on there who was celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk on there, and I want to find out who exactly it was. Also, at one point, Sinastral Rifleman, Carl the Cut Casarda was on there as well, defending us. Or not defending us, sorry.
Sinister Rifleman is his fatter friend.
No, I don't care.
The guy who runs
Salty Crab. Go to
KE
Salty
Arms.
Crab. Click on Salty Crab. It's right there.
Where the hell
Click
are
on
you
Salty
seeing-
Crab. Nope, not this guy. Go back. They look like you think they would, though, right? They all pass the physiognomy check. Go up. Try the top guy. LA Progressive Shooters. Try him.
You know,
on
people
him.
say phrenology isn't entirely
down.
accurate, but I would say
Oh my.
Actually, go down. Scroll down.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it is this guy.
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah.
Scroll down a little further. Because, yeah, there was one where he was talking explicitly about being happy that
What?
Charlie Kirk died and celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. So,
this looks
yeah, go ahead and
like
back out of there.
this looks
Go
like
ahead
if
and
you
back out of
fed a cockroach into an AI and asked it to turn it into a person.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mr. PSI is simply going after bad words on Discord and Ben Steger being a horn dog. Those are the two biggest things happening in the gun industry right now, or in the political sphere as a whole right now. It's
That
bad
is the
words
biggest
online.
news on Earth.
I'm really surprised that Scott Baker's comment is still there, considering that it's ratioing him when everybody's comment was ratioing him. Unbelievable. Okay, go ahead and pull. Well, actually, I can just pull it down. All right, that's good. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so as you guys can tell, the allegations, we went through all of them and we found ourselves not guilty. Or actually, no, I take that back. We found ourselves guilty,
Based.
but who cares? Guilty is charged. Moving on with the regular content. So thank you for the FocusTripp expose. I hope there's more to follow. He says he's working on a full story, so I want the full story.
Never
hope.
gonna
I
be
want
a better
all of it.
advertisement.
I was
Well, it's probably
sincerely
going to be
disap-
like the top 10 funniest moments on the FocusTripp Discord server. I
Oh,
hope
it's
that's
going
what
to be
it is.
hilarious. It
Yeah.
will be hilarious. I was disappointed when I found out that he, in fact, did not have access to the VIP areas, because I was sincerely hoping that he was paying $5 a month just to watch,
Okay.
20-something-year-old men call each other slurs.
Be real though, okay? To be honest, $5 a month is probably some of the best comedic content you can get for that value.
It
Not
really
gonna lie,
is.
guys. I think that it's probably a good move overall.
It is, and we're a little silly. We like to have a laugh, but overall, it's pretty wholesome.
That's
there.
illegal. That's like heckin' racist. Now again, from all of
Comedy's
this,
bad.
from all of this, I had so many people reached out to me and be like, "You're anti-Semitic? Based. Keep it up." Like nobody reached out. Like I'm so disappointed. You're doing the concern trolling thing where like, John, I'm just really disappointed in you. I can't believe that you harbor these degenerate criminals on your Discord server. I can't believe that you would say anything untoward towards our local scholars and future astronauts. I can't believe you would do that. Just sad. Ike Watts for 5 says you're not allowed to quit till you get us that music playlist. I'll work on it. Thank you, Ike. Tactical Cheems for 2 says, get down, King. There's a journalist behind you. True. More like urinalist, am I right? Heathen from Texas for 2 says, I'm going to say more mean words. The words will continue until morale improves. How about that? We have other issues to fix in this nation other than some people saying some mean things, corruption, population
I think
changes.
right now, words are the last of our concerns.
Skibbity toilet riz. Okay.
Actually,
disagree.
those words need to be banned. I'm not going to lie. Actually,
That is true.
I'm going to hate crime everyone that says skibbity toilet riz.
I have a fun story to go with that.
The
real quick.
women,
It'll take
the
about 2
children.
seconds.
Do it.
The Nates.
I work at a place that has hosted parties
Doxed.
and whatnot. I know. You guys are gonna find me now. but I worked at a place, or I still work at a place, and they had a children's birthday party come through. It was like 12 or 13-year-old. It was happy. It was happy Skibbity birthday Sigma was the sign that they had set up, and it made me want to kill myself. And I had to help set up this party with these god awful signs, and it made me lose all faith in future generations.
And you work around pools, so you could have easily just
I could have drowned him.
or
You know
yourself.
where else? You know where else had swimming pools? Todd and Dogs for 2 says, Team White, rise up and crush Siga lovers. Also, N. Hey, I appreciate Todd and Dogs. For
What's
$2,
up,
can I get the
my
letter
Siggers?
N? That's right. Christian over on Ko-Fi says he needs to investigate all of the early church fathers for their anti-Semitism. Yeah, you should read what the Bible says about the Jews, or all the church fathers, or like Henry Ford, or like almost all people throughout history for some reason, unexplainable.
Martin Luther King had some choice
Everyday
words.
American says person of color is as cringe as it is. It's colored person. I quite literally don't care what words people use, especially if they're good at their craft. That I also like. Indeed. Yeah. Listen, people. Okay, so if I show you the video of Arena getting stabbed in the neck and bleeding out on the floor, if I called that person a hard R N-word, people would be more offended at that word than the violent murder that they just watched. Well, the worst part about that video would be the backlash against black people, huh? Crazy.
Yeah. They would want to do the same thing to you for saying the word.
Oh, yeah. You would never say that around a black person. They'd, get violent.
I would.
Robert Kinley for 5 says, to my friend, Mr. Focus, thank you for your service. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kinley. I appreciate it, sir.
I have a little snack in the side chat if you want to play that real quick. See you in Valhalla, brother. It is
funny, and it's not one of the things that I've shared.
I was going to say, maybe it's not a dank clip to share.
I already said I was sorry about that.
Lastly,
fully monetized, by the way.
Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Wait.
Okay, there is nothing funnier than a demon-worshipping Indian telling a Christian to rest and you'll see him in Valhalla.
There is one thing better. If said Jeet also has a psyop kosher girlfriend who's half his age.
Well, yeah, there's you can't question things like that, bro. You just did a heckin' anti-Semitism.
I'm not questioning it.
Are you saying that
great.
this man did not attract a 9 out of 10 Mossad agent naturally? What?
I think we should
state-sponsored girlfriend. Okay, listen. If Kash Patel can get a state-sponsored girlfriend, half of you guys should get them as well. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Feds are easy to pick up.
Huge Asper too says PSI eats corn dogs rectally. Cannot confirm. Everyday American for 2 says can't be canceled if you don't care. Well, oh dude, I forgot it. I was gonna put that in my monologue about how all of my sponsors pulled out. I was gonna do like a diatribe about how they all called me and said they could no longer work with me. They're ashamed of me, and I don't have any sponsors, so it's pretty easy. Like, what are they supposed to do? Kick me from USPSA so I can stop spending money on matches? Thank you. What else could they kick me from? Nope, that's it. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, I don't break YouTube's TOS, so cry harder about it. Bert for 2 says, OMG, hate speech? What's his early life look like? Listen, I cannot tell you who he is or what he may or may not look like, but, whatever you think is probably pretty close to the truth. Thank you, Bert.
He may or may not look like somebody.
Oh, he looks like somebody.
He looks like...
You know what he looks like. The Light Sport says, John isn't a Nazi. I sure as F might be one, though. All because I wanted to be left alone. John, you skipped my Ko-Fi last stream, did I? Let me see if I can find that. No, so there is that meme. You know, it's the Pepe in the SS uniform, and he's tying the rope around somebody, and he's like, I just wanted to play video games. I just wanted to play video games. But you couldn't leave him alone. The Lightspore on Ko-Fi catching up says, wholesome post time. If you haven't bought your wife flowers in the past month, go do that now. John, in your case, Anne deserves, it's Anna by the way, Anna deserves maybe a pizza, but like a cheap one, like Little Caesars. Yeah, you know what she did? She did bring me a drink today. She got out of her basement to bring me the drink, so Little Caesars
brought you the wrong one first.
Well, hold on, wait.
Well,
how did she get out?
Magic. Don't ask. Sometimes we just... It's like a dog, you know, you're supposed to crate them. Sometimes you don't because they're so cute. That's just how it works.
Do you keep the collar on her too with the shock collar? Like,
I see, now you're asking too many questions. Pinochet on Ko-Fi says, from Martin Luther, I had not supposed or expected your arrogant spirit to seek such a ridiculous and childish reason for lying. You should have better reasons. This guy really needs to read up on some actual Christian history. This is just a mild Lutheran. I think Martin Luther has a book famously titled On the Jews and Their Lies. So if you want to read up about what the Christians believe about the Jewish religion, specifically Talmudic Judaism, which sprung out of the 5th, 6th century, something like that, Third Temple time frame, yeah, look into that. Rape Caviar 1488 says, make a new Instagram account and to read PSI's post, show the username discreetly on stream. If you get blocked on the new Insta account, you know PSI is watching the stream. I don't care if he's watching the stream. Some of his, I mean, he scrubbed the Discord. He's watching us for a story. So I imagine my best moments in this stream to be clipped and put up in a compilation video, which then I will download and put it up on my clips channel so that I can monetize it later.
I was gonna say that's my job. I can't let.
Well, I'm literally going to use PSI to edit together a hit piece for me so that I can take it down and upload it as a comedy video.
You're outsourcing my job to a potential H-1B visa, sir.
And I'm not even going to pay him for it. FocusTripp's wife from the basement says he's giving massive "not now, kitten" energy. Not now, kitten. I'm exposing Discord degenerates. Thank you, Anna. Huge ass for 5 says PSI mean words are violence. Me, wait until you see my left hook, bro. Yeah, you know, they keep, you know, the joke about maybe you killed the one that wanted to talk to you. Now the rest of us don't. Everyday American for 2 says, I bet he supports gun control. That's the thing. He would absolutely take guns and expel right-wing, alt-right Nazis from society. And again, in his worldview, anything alt-right or Nazi is simply saying mean words online.
Yeah. Nazis and people who are alt-right can't have guns, but also he gets to determine what is alt-right and Nazi.
Correct. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool.
So based of him. Thank you much for that. Chud for 2 says, this man needs to become incredibly gassy. Pics of him. Listen, I cannot supply you with pics of this gentleman. I would not do that. Axefire.
DM me.
I didn't say that. Axefire 0 for 5 says, pancakes are way better than waffles. Richard needs a pancake pick. Axefire, as far as I'm aware, you lost the great pancake waffle war of 2025. So if you wouldn't mind getting in the train car, we have a resort for you to go to. A little summer camp. FocusTripp's wife for 5 says, waffles have condiment pockets while pancakes are smooth as PSI's brain. Damn! Okay, wow. Good, thank you. Everyday American for 5 says his wife's boyfriend must have let him have the Instagram account. Well, I can't read right now, but that's just natural retardation at this point. Robert Kinley for 2 says, should I call up Hugo Boss for the uniforms then? Listen, I'm going to say it, okay? I say Vintage Warfare there. Hugo Boss, baller uniforms, okay? Not going to lie. Incredible drip. Even his later work in like the 70s and 80s, fantastic stuff.
Say what you will, they look cool.
Yeah. Hugo Boss for 5 says, Steger uses verboten word me. Huh. How much are his classes? They're about $500 to $600 for a 2-day class, so it's pretty spendy. Think about $1,000 total with ammo because you're going to shoot about 1,200 rounds. So pretty spendy. But having taken one of Ben Steger's classes for free, because I was like, hey, you're going to be a couple hours away. Do you mind if I just show up? He was like, yeah. And then I show up and he's like, okay, you're going to shoot the class. So I just shot the class. As far all of my interactions with Ben, while he is a horn dog, and you can say whatever else that you want about him, it's probably true. Seems like a pretty nice guy, all things considered. Thank you, Hugh Jass. Sheep Herder for 5 says, just got kicked out of another bar. I think this is 110, but I don't think it's my fault. All the bar owners are the problem. They're all against me. Yeah. Now my pattern-seeking brain might have an issue with that statement, but if I did that, I would be accused of wrongthink or something. So I'm just going to turn that off and let you into my bar. Surely it's going to work out this time. Thank you, Sheepherder. Black Breath for 5 says, I got Ben beat. I said it today. Also, actually, catching this live tonight feels weird. Well, I hope it's not too weird. I hope it's, kind of nice, knowing that there's 700 Discord degenerates watching at the same time. Well, and like 2 left-wing people just absolutely seething out there at the hate, the bigotry on display. Thank you, Black Bear. Just Some Space Cowboy for 5 says, PSI has clearly not meant in T97 Norinco server. I think the memes there would kill him. T97 got banned from our server.
Yeah, she's one of only 3 people. Somebody posting porn, and we won't get into the other one right now.
3 people in the history of our server have been banned.
T97
was one of them.
Racially motivated.
Listen, T97, that man probably would kill PSI. Heathen from Texas for 5 says, in a battle between waffles, pancakes, and French toast, I chose the psycho choice. Combine all 3 in one and eat a cinnamon roll with it.
Ooh,
bro! With that kind of diet, you are like a
type 3 diabetes.
Yeah, stage 4 cancer. Thank you for that. Tom Ducks for 2 says, Jews are horrible. Submit to JC Jonathan Campbell, which is funny. It's my name, Jesus Christ. Or Fode. Also end. Thank you, Ton Dogs, for Fed posting harder than anyone else in chat. Black Bear Actual for 10 says, also, Focus, you asked me to send you my PFP, and I wanted to know that I'm too stupid to know how to do that. I saw the IG link, but I ain't got it anymore. Technologically, R slurred. Yes, because YouTube will not allow you to say it retarded, but I will.
It does not know how to right-click, copy-paste. That's wild.
Yeah, you can send $10 super chats. He can type in his credit card information to YouTube, but I can't type in FocusTripp Instagram or FocusTripp email. It's literally just FocusTripp@gmail.com. It's just my name @gmail.com. FocusTripp's wife for 2 says, he's got the power of God and anime on my side. True. Chud McGill for 2 says, imagine if you saw the super chats, LMAO. Well, I think he's watching right now, or somebody's going to send him like a clip of this. And again, I think he's doing Richard's job for him. He's going to cut out all of the funny bits and put them up as a montage of all of the hate on display. And then I will download it and monetize it. Thank you, Judd. New Bachelor for 5 says, Ben isn't a Christian. When he says crass things, I don't hold him to the same standard as a Christian. May God have mercy on us all. Indeed. So that's actually a huge distinction. So somebody might say, well, John, you seem to be kind of upset with Mr. Garantham for some of his horndoggery. And Ben, while not to the same degree, is certainly engaged in some of that. It's like, well, Garantham espouses to be a Christian, pretends to be a good father, pretends to be, all of these things. He has a tattoo of the Holy Mother Mary, the Theotokos, on his forearm. And, purports to be a good Christian man. Whereas Ben, in my first interaction with him, told me he was a degenerate. And he's a sinner. So I'm not surprised when a sinner sins, right? And I really reserve calling people out for that in a Christian way for Christians, right? So, I mean, I can give advice to people who aren't Christians, but if you don't follow my values and moral system, like what am I supposed to do with you? Like, if me yelling at you ain't gonna help,
what you're supposed to do is
that doesn't help either most of the time, not for simple things like this. Sabardic Psycho for 5 says, that reminds me, I haven't said the word today. I'll get started right away. And, an N word a day keeps the PSI away. Phil McCrevis for 5 says, this guy, PSI, wouldn't survive a Modern Warfare 2 lobby from back in the day. Softer than a baby shit. Indeed. Huge Ass for 5 says the same group who cheered after Charlie Kirk was murdered are now crying over words. Literally the exact same group.
Yeah.
They will, and remember, they want you deplatformed and fired for harsh words while celebrating the murder of a Christian man for espousing his Christian values.
Well, they also want you to end up like Charlie Kirk. Don't get it twisted. They want.
Well, yeah, they
you to
celebrated
have the
him.
same
They'll
fate.
celebrate you. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about Charlie Kirk's belief, and I assure you that 90% of people in chat are further to the right than that. So, if they celebrate that way for him, imagine how they'd celebrate for you.
Yeah, where did Vintage's comment just go? There it is. Vintage with the cogent comments in the comments section. Indeed. No, he's 100% watching and rubbing his hands together because what he's watching is a mortal sin in his circle. He can't comprehend jokes, humor, etc. It is literal violence to him. Yeah, something that I should post about PSI. Let me see if I have this screenshot handy. There are so many screenshots. It is essentially somebody calling him out because they're saying that, listen, bro, you calling out these people, like, they're eventually going to come for you. And the progressives do not stop. The purity spiral that these people deal in knows no bounds, has no limits, right? So, for instance, J.K. Rowling gets death threats and canceled and just every mean word under the sun thrown at her because she disagrees with the left on one issue. She doesn't believe that trans women are women, which is just a very normal belief to hold. That's the majority position on that. But because she differs from the left in one issue, they want her dead, canceled, and removed from society. So as soon as somebody like PSI has one opinion to the right of Mao Zedong, he's going to be cast out just like everybody else.
Oh, no. Mao Zedong is pretty far right-wing, honestly.
Mark for 2 says, I'll take things Bolsheviks did for 500, Alex. Yes. Murdered the monarchy and starved 30 million Christians in Ukraine. How about that? Thank you, Mark. Andy Cody for 5 says, I'm not even really religious, and the occasional Bible verse or whatever has never bothered me at all, but I guess I'm a Christian nationalist too. Yeah, now you are. Well, that's the thing. If you're not a degenerate, evil leftist, like, guess what, buddy? Welcome to the Christian Nationalist Party. Jail Ganas for 2 says 1860s Democrat here. All right, fair enough. Yeah, just say you're a Democrat, but just don't specify from what era. Absolute Moonman for 10 says, don't worry, Focus. I'm a Fed for the people. You don't need to think it's all of them. It could be just like 5. I would still make them regret they didn't just embrace pretending to be Italian. Thank you, Moonman. Moonman again for 5 says, I am simply out here waiting for a check to clear. Make the 6 million real. Oh.
People should,
yeah, the check hasn't cleared.
Yeah, people should
wait. Should we do some math on stream?
We can do some math. Math is always fun. But real quick, people don't really know who initially invented the mobile gas chamber. I suggest looking into that and how it was used. That's just a fun bit of history.
Mobile gas chamber. Look it up, gents.
I'm sure. Oh, wait a minute.
Noob Actual for 2 says, don't have the budget to continue, still love y'all. Well, listen, man, you got way more important things to spend money on than this stream, but I do appreciate it, sir, genuinely. And it's good to have this debate back and forth. Thank you, Nasty for 2 says, pancakes over waffles is a truly mongoloid take. Yes, exactly, which is why we're genociding all of them. All of them. Corporate guilt is real, but only against pancake enjoyers.
IHOP beware.
Yeah, we're gonna start a jihad against IHOP and then hop after that.
Hey, you know
Zach
what? I
Attila
hear IHOP has ovens.
We should ask them how long it takes to make 6. No. Zach Attila for 2 says the allegations made against me are true. Indeed, yes. In this case, actually, dude, I need that clip from Jordan Jareb where he's like, all the allegations against me, they're true. So what? Moving on. Moonman for 5 says, why didn't I see screenshots of Oh My or me calling people slurs? I want my money back, Sheckelstein. Well, that's the thing. I want the article. I want the write-up on all of the evil degeneracy. that happens, quote unquote, in our Discord server, because again, it's going to be like a top 10 funniest moments of all time. Thank you, Moonman.
Just make us look better.
Penile Shilling inside for 2 says, if I could pew, my junk might work. Oh, I get it. I see. Thank you, Penile Shilling inside. Penile Shilling inside for another 2 says, skibbity toilet riz. Okay. Okay.
Skibbity toilet riz. Okay.
Thank you for that. Sir Quandarius Thunderpeak for 2 says, Dank is the Chuck E. Cheese mascot confirmed. How much for a lap dance from the rat? How many tickets is that?
500 tickets.
Oh, that's it? Damn.
No, it's not a very good Chuck E. Cheese's. Really cheap prices on everything.
Damn, okay.
Get that ugly, disabled freak away from me. I don't want to look at his fucked up face.
Thank you for that, 7 Industries. Get that H1B off my screen. Indeed. Moonman for 5 says, my Ko-Fi won't take my card. Please play the anime girls telling me to cope see that dilate in memory of the actionable threats I can no longer send. Got a couple of them now. Thank you, Moonman. Bert for 5 says, the Valhalla thing opens up a conspiracy. On the shooter's computer screen, there is a bird's eye view of a hotel named Valhalla somewhere. What? On the shooter's computer screen, there is a bird's eye view of a hotel named Valhalla somewhere. Okay, people are going like insanely deep on a lot of this stuff, which is good. It's good to question all this stuff, to go after all these different little angles. Like, we might talk about it tonight, but did you see the coroner allegedly said that Charlie Kirk was like, you know, like his neck stopped a 30-06 projectile? Like, it's the official story that the bullet did not have an exit wound, so it entered his neck and did not exit.
I could see how that would happen if he was wearing a plate carrier and he had hard plates back and front, but I don't know.
It wasn't just that he said that it happened, it's that he claims to have seen several instances of people being shot in the neck with 30-06, enough to he has comparable instances. It was very strange. It was very strange. And he was basically going off and stating that, well, it was a miracle. It was an act of God because there was people standing directly behind him that otherwise would have gotten hit in any other instance, right? The miracle was that Charlie stopped it himself. It wasn't that.
Okay, I haven't watched Range Day Bros video, but yeah, I've heard the online sphere of, oh shoot, every time I open up my hands, it does the thing of where he actually got shot from. At one point, somebody was saying it was from the right, and then the blood splatter was like an exit wound, and then now somebody's saying from the building up above, shooting basically straight down on him, even though he wouldn't have been able to see it, like be able to see Charlie at the time. So, I mean, unless you have some sort of super high-tech pass-through thermal overlay or something, I don't know how you would even be able to make that shot, but yeah. Moonman for 2 says, retarded. Yeah, he's retarded. We're all a little retarded. Listen, I'm a little retarded. Do we have that?
Discord.
Here we go.
I'm kind of retarded.
Bert says, wouldn't a 30-06 blown poor Charlie's head off? Yeah, a lot of ballisticians crawling out of the woodworks in the last couple weeks with their best takes on what happened.
I've shot a 30-06 once.
Therefore, Coppertone for 2 says, physical Jeet removal when?
We are going to Black Bag Cash Patel.
I think they're working on a digital removal first.
Have I... okay, so I'm confused. So the White House said it was a $100,000 yearly annual fee for the H-1Bs. The press secretary said it was a one-time fee. But then the White House clarified after that again that no, it was an annual fee.
And
so I've heard it both ways.
And then if you actually read the fine print, there's exemptions for all of it anyway. So it's
yeah, that's okay. No exemptions. Gideon Young for 5 says, I love turning into my favorite radical Christian nationalist stream, by the way. By the way, Ko-Fi wasn't working, question mark? I think they're on to you. I hope not. It's still coming through for some people. So I don't know what's going on there, or if maybe they're just being a little wacky. Thank you, Gideon. To a printer for 5. A based 3D printer? Unheard of. For 5 says, PSI is a goofy N. What have we done to the human language? We'll finish stream tomorrow. God bless. Also, Richard is gay. Many such cases. Thank you, 2i Printer. Bird for 2 says, St. Fentanyl Floyd got more respect than Charlie.
He did.
Yeah, no, that's one of their heroes.
They
Who,
painted a
ironically
mural.
enough, PSI was very upset at somebody making a joke for kicking a pregnant lady, but George Floyd pointed a gun at one in like real life. That's awkward. Todd and Docs for 2 says Trump refers to Charlie Kirk as a master builder. Mason confirmed. That's true. Masonic ritual hit. He's actually living in Agartha with Jeffrey Epstein right now. That's my take.
Do you see that Netanyahu clarified again that he had nothing to do with it?
I
Again,
did not kill that man. I did not do it. Oh,
It
hi,
really
Donald.
makes you wonder why they have
How
to
many-
clarify so many times.
How many other countries came out and said, hey, it wasn't us?
It wasn't. I don't know why people are being so weird about that. Huge Ass says, IHOP, keep walking. This is a Waffle House neighborhood. Dude, Waffle House would cream IHOP in a fight, okay? Not even joking. Waffle House, those guys can fight. Thank you, Huge Ass.
They have to.
It is a blood sport.
Chud for 2 says, Richard Gassy of your choice, Glock 34 Master Race. Indeed. That is the weapon of Hyperborea. Black Bear Actual for 2 says, email it is then. I'll send it over. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Black Bear. Todd and Dogs for 2 says, Charlie Kirk is not dead. Pay attention. EK is a ball worshiper. That's a wild
know about
accusation
that.
to make about the widow of Charlie Kirk. I would need to see a little bit more evidence than that, but thank you
I
for this
have
schizo
seen
posting.
some wild theories about her.
I mean, she was a pageant girl for a long time. So some people are saying like this is just part of the acting. So I'm not getting into that. That's not my thing. Madden for 5 says, I think PCI should be covering stolen USPSA valor, not being a hall monitor. Yeah. Chud McGill for 2 says, as a mark, also, I do want to say, Madden made me test out this hyper wacky VTOL IR laser unit thing. Not sure how I feel about that yet. Chud says, as an M1903 enthusiast, 30-06 kicks ass. M1903 gang. Yeah, you know what's funny? I think that's what Mr. Guns and Gear used to do all of his armor testing with, is one of those M1903s. In 30-06 black tip. Will Cray for 5 says, I've schwacked a deer with 30-06 and it didn't let out a drop of the red stuff, but it was 15 yards and ran all of 30.
But how big was it?
I mean, I don't know how you're punching a hole through a thing. I don't know how stuff doesn't come out.
All
Again-
of this to say it entirely depends. It's a case-by-case basis. I don't think anybody knows yet.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing is internet sleuths want to actually like dig up the body themselves, and yeah.
I'm just
Which
waiting for
they're-
Candace
Oh,
Owens
man.
to get a hold of him.
Yeah, once
Mr.
Candace has
Gun-
another
Yeah.
drop.
Mr.
I
Guns
can't-
and Gear apparently just posted a video within the past hour about Charlie Kirk not having an exit wound.
Well, we could take a look at that. Arrange J Bros. 03 Scumbag for 5 says, new follower here. So y'all are Christian nationalist and anti-Zionist. 1, based. 2, how can I join this Discord? We're under lockdown at the moment while we do a little bit of
Investigating.
investigating, let's say. But I mean, we are Christians and nationalists in general. But again, we have people of all races and religions in our Discord. Though again, the majority, I would say, is definitely Christian and nationalist.
As
Thank
long
you,
as you're a
Scumbag.
chill guy.
You know, just a chill guy like Moon Man. The idea of Charlie Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein welcoming me to Agartha is hilarious. Also, Richard Tito time. Thank you for that. Penal Shilling Inside for 5 says, Richard, Trench with Hearts PFP, John, Skibbity Toilet Riz, PSI, Retarded, Chat, Clown. Chats are such clowns.
Skibbity toilet riz. Okay.
And Craig for 2 says, I prefer iHog, International House of Goth Girls. Fair enough. Noob Crastinator over on Ko-Fi says, hearing my young nephews use those terms makes me wish the doors weren't wooden. Fresh Pinochet says, choppers are ready. Those pancakers know how to swim, right? I hope not. Yeah, we're going to use Pinochet's charter helicopter service to dispense justice upon all the pancakers out there. All right. Well, I know you guys were very excited about that. So, I mean, again, I apologize for all the drama and everything else that happened. And, we'll try and do better in the future or something like that. Literal bong water people. Wow, vintage with the hot takes against goth girls. All right. Speaking of people that smell like piss, though, designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. Section 1. This is from whitehouse.gov, which just came out a couple hours ago. So Section 1, Antifa is a terrorist threat. Antifa is a militarist, anarchist enterprise that explicitly calls for the overthrow of the United States government, law enforcement authorities, and our system of law. It uses illegal means to organize and execute a campaign of violence and terrorism nationwide to accomplish these goals. This campaign involves coordinated efforts to obstruct enforcement of federal laws through armed standoffs with law enforcement, organized riots, violent assaults on immigration and custom enforcement and other law enforcement officers, and routine doxing of and other threats against political figures and activists. Antifa recruits, trains, and radicalizes young Americans to engage in this violence and suppression of political activity, then employs elaborate means and mechanisms to shield the identities of its operatives, conceal its funding sources and operations in an effort to frustrate law enforcement and recruit additional members. Individuals associated with and acting on behalf of Antifa further coordinate with other organizations and entities for the purpose of spreading, fomenting, and advancing political violence and suppressing lawful political speech. This organized effort designed to achieve policy objectives by coercion and intimidation is domestic terrorism. Section 2, designation as a domestic terrorist organization. Because of the aforementioned pattern of political violence designed to suppress lawful political activity and obstruct the rule of law, I hereby designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. Little late. All relevant executive departments and agencies shall utilize all applicable authorities to investigate, disrupt, and dismantle any and all illegal operations, especially those involving terrorist actions conducted by Antifa or any person claiming to act on behalf of Antifa, or for which Antifa or any person claiming to act on behalf of Antifa provided material support, including necessary investigatory and prosecutorial actions against those who fund such operations. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law. This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, agents, or any other person. Signed, Donald J. Trump, September 22nd, 2025. Now, this is actually something, if I remember correctly, he originally said something about this in 2018, 2017, during his first term, if I remember correctly.
I really wish he did this a while ago before listening to Sean Hannity when he said, hey, just let them burn down the country. It'll be good for elections.
Summer of Love. Yeah, remember that. Did the thing not pop up? Where'd it go? Unbelievable. The anime chick didn't pop up. Terrible. But no, remember during the Summer of Love, after the George Floyd, he went to fentanyl withdrawals or whatever happened with him. But after that incident, the Summer of Love, burning down businesses and all that sort of stuff, but they will still try to tell you with a straight face that most political violence comes from the right.
By the way, was it over 30 people killed during the Summer of Love? Millions of dollars in property damage, and multiple verifiable cases of left-wing political violence that weren't counted as political violence. All super
but
cool
things.
Those
don't matter. Those are less important or something because my side did them. I think that's how that works.
Yeah. And then you have people saying, "Oh, but don't say mean things to these people. Why are we supporting and defending those who would never do so for us?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as Palmetto says, billions of dollars, not millions. Yeah.
You're right. That is the one part of that statement that was wrong.
I think it was $2.1 billion as recorded by the insurance agencies.
Coppertone Purdue says Valhalla or George went to Fethala. Yeah. Which I think George just came up on, like, what was it, 6 years sober? I mean, not an easy thing to do.
God bless.
What's that link you just sent me, Richard?
Just what's been going on outside of ICE facilities as a result of the
deportations.
Yep, and this is what resulted in Antifa
today with the protesters and these ICE agents. Now, DHS says that it was the protesters who first threw the tear gas at them, and that's why they responded with tear gas of their own. However, I have to tell you from our vantage point, we could not confirm that. I went back and I scrubbed through video to try to tell where that originated, but we just couldn't from our vantage point where we were on the ground. But right now, it is much calmer than it has been throughout the rest of the day. The group of protesters is dwindling, but they share their experience during those clashes this morning.
If you scroll down a little bit, you see the gay Mexicans that are, and when I say that, it's quite literally the gay Mexican flag. And this is in Chicago, and they are,
of course,
they are macing cops. And
so I saw somebody was like, federal agents shouldn't be dressed like this, because it was a federal agent, all black, balaclava, like you couldn't even see his eyes. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, federal agents shouldn't have to dress like that to not feel for their
them though.
Yeah, well, what I'm calling for violence against them, posting their home address. These people have families.
Yes, and what I find incredibly ironic is California tried to pass a resolution stating that officers are no longer allowed to wear masks. It's now a crime if the officers wear masks, whereas just 5 years ago or 4 years ago, they passed a resolution stating that it's a crime for officers to not wear masks because it's endangering the public health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it allows them, or doesn't allow them to do their job. Right. It's just part of PPE in 2025, unfortunately. But remember, guys, if you believe in immigration or whatnot, you're like a fascist or something.
Yep. I also sent you something on Discord, Focus.
Oh. What is this this individual that I'm looking at?
Somebody who seconds before was pepper sprayed and was trying to block an ICE vehicle.
Yes, this is
funnily enough, she might have the mask to block an ICE vehicle.
Well, they threw her flat on her mask when she was trying to block it, and
it's probably probably been a long time before she's been handled roughly by a man. Just saying, she is the roadblock, indeed.
Biggest speed bump you ever did see.
Mm.
These people, from kidnapping people and moving them around, there's very little.
Deporting, right? These people are criminals in your country, illegal. You're not kidnapping them. You're transporting them legally to a detention facility where they can get prosecuted and extradited to wherever they need to go.
Accountability or information on what's going on.
To go by themselves.
Yeah, if you chose to come here illegally, and many of these people commit other crimes as well, which is why they're after these people specifically, and you need to go back.
Giving them the option to go back on their own is great.
They hit me in the face.
It gives them the option to avoid the charges.
Agents from the rooftop of this Broadview ICE processing facility fired multiple rounds of pepper balls throughout the day Friday, making it hard to breathe and causing burning eyes to disperse the crowd when the protesters got too close. They also used tear gas Friday morning amid scuffles with protesters. ICE Commander Greg Bovino shouted orders seen without a mask on, unlike most of the other agents. Activists have vowed to be here in Broadview every...
Bro, there was an Asian guy among the ICE facility. I mean, they're Asian
Friday during
now?
Operation Midway Blitz. They want this facility shut down. It's currently being used as a processing center, according to DHS, for those arrested during the operation. But it's not clear how many people are in here, as information has not been forthcoming, which is why some Chicago aldermen want it shut down.
4 Congress people.
I'm so anti-fascist.
Man versus car.
I'm gonna slap this. I want to watch that again. Actually, I'm gonna violently slap this car.
And has not been forthcoming, which is why some Chicago aldermen want it shut down.
4 Congress people came here in June and they were denied entrance, even though they're legally supposed to be able to inspect this facility. These facilities are not safe. They need to be shut down, and Governor Pritzker and the mayor of Broadview should work together to shut down this facility as soon as we can.
I think we should deport you too. I don't even care if you're a citizen. Get out of here.
What kind of American are you? Remember, this is what's standing you in between you and Valhalla right here. It's this lady. This is the greatest threat that we face on a day-to-day basis. Is this lady? People like this.
And it's funny because it's actually true.
Great threat to democracy? No, great threat to the buffet table. Dr. Fuzzy for Two says, what? Radicals on the internet? Imagine my shock. Indeed. Patches O'Hulian says, I'm a fascist because I'm against terrorism. Yeah, if you don't think that people should be politically assassinated, and if you attend a rally... Did you guys see that Destiny was saying, like, this is straight out of, like, some Nazi propaganda or whatnot? And it's Erica Kirk saying that she forgives her husband shooter.
Yeah. I think he said, this is exactly like a Nazi rally. And it was a memorial service.
It was a memorial service for Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when Hitler went up there and he said something about how he forgives the Jews crying or something like that. I remember that speech.
There is a bright side to the whole Destiny story. It appears that he may have had his monetization put on hold by YouTube.
Oh, he did. All of his monetization for at least the next 90 days on YouTube has been suspended, and it might get lengthened, and he might get banned. Who knows?
Well, he also has like $1 million deal with Kick, so he doesn't care. Yeah. He's an evil human. You think he's gonna stop just because you threaten some money? Mm-hmm. Moski 1088 for 2 says, understand exposing lame people. Is this also gossip? Talking about the PSI situation. In a way, you can call it gossip, right? But I mean, he is going after me and my fans, and he's going to quote unquote expose random people on my Discord for saying untoward things, which I think is pretty lame. So I'm also going to talk about it and make fun of him and also stand up for my audience, right? So, I mean, if you're not interested in it, you'd probably call that gossip, but I think it's more important for me, right? Because he's going against me and my fans. People on Discord just hanging out, just throwing jokes around. So I'm going to defend him, even if it's not particularly important to you, right?
Wait till he sees some of the stuff that I've said in VIP.
Heathen from Texas for 10 says, to call back to the earlier topic, funny we talked about waffles, since yesterday I watched a video on the history of waffles and cooking the original waffle with a butter wine sauce.
Yes. I believe that was tasting history.
As a kid, I always liked waffles more because of the fun things you could do with them. So waffles
I prefer the crispy edges.
This is just all wrong.
The Lightspore for 2 says, Moonman, get me that DDM4. I'm awaited in Agartha. Damn, I can't talk. Thank you, the Lightspore. Appreciate it, man. And then over on Ko-Fi, we have Logan sucks at shooting. Says, if the bullet hit his spine and did something weird, it could have definitely not have an exit wound. I've personally seen deer get hit with 30-06, destroy their heart, and there be no exit wound. But did they get shot in the heart? Exit, and get no exit wound. Bullets do weird things. It's not an exact science. Yes, I agree. Bullets do weird things. But my opinion is JFK quite literally worthless. Yeah, his neck just did that.
Yeah. The coroner report that I saw stated that the neck itself stopped it. It didn't say that it deflected. It said that the neck stopped the round, and that seems suspicious to me. So,
yeah, okay. So that headline is so misleading. Charlie Kirk's healthy bone saved lives. Body stopped bullet that would normally go through everything. Surgeon told TPUSA.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're making a video that I wish I wasn't making because I wish the events that we're going to discuss here never unfolded. But unfortunately, as of course all of you know, Charlie was killed, and the official narrative anyway, which there are a lot of holes in the official narrative, is that there was a man shooting from roughly 130 to 140 yards away from an elevated position with a 30-06 chambered bolt-action rifle with a relatively long barrel. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. And he was using 30-06 ammunition, and that impacted Charlie's neck, and there was no exit wound. So when that was announced, I believe that was announced on Saturday. Don't quote me on that. I got a ton of texts from people in the industry asking what I thought about that. I would tell them, and then this morning, because obviously it's Monday as when I'm filming this, I'm not sure when it's going to be up, but this morning, pretty much all the conservative media agencies reached out to me in one form or another and asked if they thought if I thought this was possible or plausible or insane or completely, complete nonsense, if that makes sense. During the time from when it was announced that there was no exit wound to when, now we're making this video, Alex Jones has made a video stating, and you guys can think whatever you want about Alex Jones, but it's an interesting insight that the gentleman from TPUSA who he talked to said that the bullet went at a down angle into Charlie's back, essentially, and stayed there. So let's discuss. So first off, for many of you guys watching this, you might not be familiar with what we're talking about with a 30-06. 30-06 is the caliber that was the primary cartridge used by the U.S. military for both World War I and World War II. So it's a relatively old bullet design. So for example, this is a 5.56 projectile. This is a 308 projectile. And then next to it, that is a 30-06 projectile. Now, I show you guys this, not to make it seem like this is a gigantic bullet, which it is. It's a fairly large bullet. And 30-06 is a powerful round, no doubt about it. But compared to the 5.56, you'll see that the 5.56, the entire projectile case, powder, everything just sits in the case of the 30-06. Now, one thing to preface that with is that 30-06, again, when it was designed a long time ago, they didn't have as efficient powders as we have today. So in terms of ballistics, it's very, very similar to the 308. It's just a touch behind it, but they improved the powders a lot. So while this does look much larger, ballistically, they are very, very similar. So those of you guys who have experience or know people who have experience with 308, in terms of terminal performance, i.e. how a bullet performs.
I'll never forget him putting an OLED on a Radiant Model 1. Unforgivable. I do like how throughout the years, I think that the OLED videos went from his main channel to his B channel. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if he does them anymore. But no, I've actually met Mr. Guns and Gear in person. Very nice man. He's spoken very highly of us, and he's also very based. So while some of you might disagree with some of his gun takes, Mr. Guns and Gear is actually quite based in a conspiracy theory pilled.
Forms in soft tissue. They're going to be extreme.
Yeah, lucky. He's probably would be the next subject of a PSI investigation.
Extremely similar. So I just say that because a lot more people in 2025 have experience with 308 than they do with 30-06. So there is that just to start out with. So a few things about the shooting that we have to take into account. Again, I'm just going to talk about the official narrative. There are a lot of other narratives, a lot of other theories that I think many of them have some plausibility. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to talk about the official narrative, sniper on the roof, 30-06, 130, 140 yards away, and the impact that we all saw. Of course, I will not be showing any of that, but if the video is horrible and but if you saw it, some of the things that are in it are relevant to today's video. So there's that. So a few things about 30-06 is that especially in 2025, there are bullet weights that are all over the place. Like this one here, I believe is
Yes. So to be clear, the official story as of right now is that he was shot in the neck with a 30-06 from 130 yards away at like a 5 to 7 degree angle. And there is no exit wound with an entrance right about here. So what you would have to say is it entered into the neck, hit a shoulder or one of these bones over here, and then deflected down so that it did not leave, right? Like traveling along the spine and then lodged somewhere in your center area. That's what you would have to say.
168 grain projectile. So the grain just means how many units, if you will, of actual mass go into the bullet itself. So in 30-06 today, most of them are going to be between 150 to 180 grains in terms of size. However, there are a huge swath in terms of actual projectiles for this caliber. So, I mean, I'm sure there's weird ones out there that I'm not even thinking about, but they go all the way down to 110 grains, all the way up to 200 grains and over. And so one of the reasons you go for a smaller, and this has a lot to do with bullet design, but it's going to impact what I'm about to say here.
I love the chat. Josie Wales, he was not shot from behind. The video is clear. Directly below him. I watched the video in slow motion today. It was the back of the head shot. Everybody is coming to vastly different conclusions, and that's how it's going to be.
In a minute. One of the things with a lighter, longer bullet that you get in terms of performance when a bullet is flying through the air, it's called ballistic coefficient. Now, not all lighter weight projectiles are going to have a higher ballistic coefficient, but many of them will. So what the ballistic coefficient means for people who are not shooters, I'm going to try not to go into too many rabbit holes today, but these things are important if we want to understand the probability of the official story that we were being told today. So a higher ballistic coefficient bullet is going to go through the air with less resistance. That's essentially what it means. And those bullets tend to be stable, very stable, actually, when they're going through the air. However, when they hit soft tissue, they destabilize much more quickly and are more likely to tumble than a heavier grain projectile, and that just has to do with the mass of the actual projectile, right? So the mass of a heavier projectile is likely to keep going in the direction it was going if it is heavier. I think everyone kind of gets that. If you were to throw a boulder at something, it's going to be very different in terms of when it impacts the material than if you were to throw a small pebble at it, right? Well, the same thing is true here for the bullet weight. So that is something to consider. And as of right now, the FBI has released zero information at all about the actual projectile used. So again, going back to what I said earlier, the most common of the cartridges or the bullets that are used in 30-06 rather are between 150 to 180 grains. So keep that in mind. So with all that said, if you were just to ask me, what are the odds of a 30-06 projectile being shot at a downward angle? I think the angle from what I've seen online is anywhere from 8 to 12 degrees. Being shot at a downward angle, hitting someone in the neck, going into their chest cavity is, I would say it's very small, extremely small, but not impossible. And I realize many of you guys, I'm slow to this video. I was kind of on the edge as to whether or not I wanted to make it. But many of you guys have watched other people's videos where they're saying it's impossible. I get that, but weird things can happen with bullets when they get into soft tissue. Many of you guys have shot a lot of...
Okay, so it's kind of saying what most people are saying. Unlikely, but possible. Let me look up range day, bro. Because, oh my gosh, dude, it's up to 1 million views. Wow, that video exploded for him. Because people are...
Ladies and gentlemen.
Quote unquote, I don't want to use this as a derogatory term, but like truthing about the what actually happened here, who actually shot Charlie Kirk, where did the bullet come from, is the official story lying? Now, the answer to the official story is almost always yes. It's almost always a lie. But
I now have acquired proof that the FBI's official story is false, whether knowingly or unknowingly. We're going to have an entire monologue and talk about a lot of these things after I show you this. But if you take nothing else away from this video, you need to see this.
And in that video, you can see the same, what appears to be the bullet coming down, and it does line up with the actual gunshot itself.
So this video was created by a friend of mine who is a Marine. You'll see him here at the end. This is the angle he is showing the shot coming from, showing where Charlie was sitting, and the angle of the shot, which will correspond with this video here, which unfortunately we will blur out Charlie's face.
Okay, because I was going to say, I don't know if I can show this.
But we will show what is necessary to prove that this was an entry and exit wound. So you'll see him circle the highlighted area right there, and you'll see the exit wound corresponding after, a split second after, as it would from an entry and exit wound. So in this footage, you can clearly see that Charlie is shot from his back right, and there's blood splatter coming out of the entry wound immediately after a shot. The first arc is kind of down, as if it's just gushing out from the entry wound, and then the second shot corresponds with when his head kind of snaps forward. That fluid then flips up in relation to that motion, so you can see there's that second splatter flipping up into the air. This is something that I hadn't seen to this date. I saw this for the first time.
I mean, I could see how somebody would believe it, but they're cropping the video so you don't see the full video, because when you watch it uncropped, like, to me it looks the other way.
Late in the evening yesterday, and I decided that this needed to be put out immediately because...
I've also seen some people point out, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I've also seen some people point out that it looks like his earpiece he had in comes off, and people from other angles think that could be like the bullet tumbling out somehow. But it's pretty clear that there's an earpiece that flies off at some point.
Yeah, the earpiece does pop off, and it's ran up through the back of his shirt. The energy transfer from when it hits the neck and the transfer of energy into his back and across the shirt would be enough to rip out the cord for the earpiece, no doubt. I've seen the other angle that where the video is from his right side, and you can see the actual transfer of energy into his back. Part of his back essentially wraps around the back of the chair that he's sitting in, so it's definitely enough to rip that earpiece out.
Right, so I can show this. So essentially what they're saying is this little blur here,
which I've seen a second angle of this, that looks to be the earpiece.
Right, so that's the thing, right? So can I back up? That little blur moving is the bullet. That's what they're claiming, that little blur captured on camera is the bullet itself.
No one that I know of is talking about this. So big shout out to my friend who actually found this and created this video. You'll see him here in just a moment. But let's just one more time look at this shot. You see bullet comes in that circled area. You have the blood splatter go down, then up, and then immediately after, you see the exit right here with the skin being pierced, and then the exit wound emerges. And again, that is not a far distance for a bullet to travel, whatever the caliber is, whether it be 5.56, 308, 30-06, It's not even a debate at this point. It doesn't matter what caliber killed him. What matters is that the official narrative is not true. Again, whether the FBI knows or not that they're lying. But this is 100% conclusive evidence that Charlie Kirk was shot in the back of the head. And it exited through the front of his throat. All of the evidence points to Charlie being shot from his back right. Now, including this little blood splatter that we can see here against the white backdrop, the extreme hemorrhaging from the front of his neck, which again corresponds with an exit wound, the extreme loss of blood. No matter what the caliber is, that distance, that amount of meat is not enough for most bullets to expand. I mean, 99.9% of bullets will not expand in that short distance. Most of them require 12 to 14 to 16 inches even sometimes of tissue to expand properly. Also, Charlie tensing up correlates and proves that he was hit in his spine. It's a spinal injury. Any of the game that I've shot in the neck or in the high vitals where you impact the spine, the game usually drops right in its tracks because you sever the spinal cord. This is, again, exactly what we see with Charlie. He tenses up.
So why would they be lying about an exit wound, though? Why would that change? Why wouldn't they just say that that's where the shooter was? I don't get the point about lying about where the shot came from, though.
Well, the point about lying is because there's a bunch of people who are making their own assumptions right now, and he's feeding into them and cashing in on it by feeding into their delusions. You know,
I mean, I get going after the government and calling them out for lying about the situation. There are lots of inconsistencies to point out, right? But I feel like this detail doesn't matter, right? Because
we all want the truth, but
yeah, no, and that's a natural thing for people to want.
But this guy's claims are idiot.
Rage Day Bro is a friend of the channel. He's been on before. We talk every now and again. And I mean, I can see based off of this the claims he's trying to make. I just don't know what the point necessarily is. And I mean, it's obviously a lot of people are supporting it. 1 million views in 10 hours for a channel with 100,000 subs is insane.
His head movement also correlates with being shot in the back of the head. His head snaps forward, and then he tenses up, and you see him fade away, drop the mic, and was absolutely traumatizing video footage. And I'm sorry to have to show you guys this again, but this needs to be seen and talked about because this is going to be suppressed in the algorithm. So make sure you share this with any of your friends, your family members. Save this video, whatever you do. So this video was actually provided to the channel by a friend of mine.
That is wild, actually, that that video gets like that much support and is not age restricted, and it does show like a bullet entry, like it shows the murder, right?
Who is a Marine, and I forgot to show you the end of the video here. So this is my friend who actually made the video. I want to just give him a shout out. I will link his socials down in the description below. Again, he is the one who brought this to my attention. This is his video. He created this. He did the drawings on it, and he sent it to me to allow me to use it to show you guys what we're talking about. So he says, I have been shot many times, 3 times to be exact, and I know exit and entry wounds. I have extensive firearms training inside the Marines and the civilian world as well. It appears that Charlie was shot in the back right side of his head, and the bullet exited through his neck. The moment I saw the video and he tensed up, I thought, that looks like a headshot given the fact that he seized up. It is very common. It is a very common occurrence with a headshot. So this dude, of all people, would know what an entry and exit wound looks like on his own body, literally up close in 4K HD, as they say. So if anyone is qualified to talk about it, it is this dude. He's a super cool guy. So please go ahead and check him out. And I really appreciate him sending me this over because until he sent this to me, I just hadn't seen anything like it. Now, I wanted to be sure, and I wanted to make sure that wasn't like doctored footage. So I went to one of the original videos that I saw posted the day of Charlie's assassination. And right here I have it paused where you can see that splash that I'm talking about from the entry wound. And you can see it slowed down. This guy.
No, that is actually just his earpiece. I think he's just 100% wrong. You can actually see it in like connecting to his ear here.
Guy in this video is actually talking about the F in this on his shirt and the ring, some other stuff that really has nothing to do with it. People are arguing about body armor. You can see Charlie's, his nipples through his shirt, his chest, his breasts through his shirt, but you can see that he has no body armor on right here. Okay, this would all be one slick piece of plate. It's already been established there's no body armor, so this is actual proof right here. He slowed this video down perfect. You see the blood right here dripping out of his head from the entry wound, and the bullet is coming.
Nope. That's not it.
That's
from here
trying to frame
down
it.
through here. Okay.
Yeah.
Hit play.
Okay.
And there it goes.
Just real quick, I'm forwarding something to you from the Discord. Don't show it, but a bit clearer video where you see it is an earpiece.
Yeah, I mean, with that, it's so conclusive too because you see his body recoil backwards. That video you just showed me. This is bunk. This is bunk, unfortunately.
So again, I wanted to confirm the footage I had seen originally was not, in fact, doctored in any way. So you can see it here as well. A little piece down there, and it actually goes up a little bit off frame here from my screen recording. So you can see clearly entry, exit, then of course.
Okay, so I need to see the comments on this video. Oh,
you always got to give people the benefit of the doubt too. Maybe,
ladies and gentlemen, I now have acquired proof.
Information by a friend or somebody he thought was trustworthy, and they got it wrong for whatever reason. So I'm not going to say he's knowingly doing this, but there is quite a bit of information out there. So I don't know, but evidence is pointing to probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I can download this real fast. Give me 1 second, because I can show counterpoint to that really quickly. Where did it go?
Yeah, that comment right there is what stands out to me. If he was shot in the back of the head, what caused his shirt to fly up?
So, I mean, you can just see right here very clearly this is the moment of impact. This is just a wire going into his ear that gets knocked out. You can see that his body recoils backwards from getting shot from the front. That is not a blood splatter. That is an earpiece.
If you got shot from the back of the head, you'd expect to go forward, not backwards.
Yeah, so Range Day's video is just bunk. It's just a bunk video. It's kind of upsetting too in a way, because it got 1 million views and a lot of like hype for it. And I don't see a lot of people calling him out for it, but it's just obviously incorrect that he did not get shot from the back from a high angle. And that's not an exit wound. Like, I don't know if I can play this.
Yeah, you can run this. Yeah, there you go. You can see.
So you can see his body recoils. You can see his body recoils backwards. Backwards, not forwards.
And if you look about where the tag on the shirt would be,
then you can see it. You can see the wire, and then the wire moves as his body is moving backwards. There is no entry wound here visible at all, and his body would be moving the other way. So I get not trusting the government. I get not trusting the FBI, but that entire theory, that 1 million views by Range Day Bro, is just bunk. That's just nonsense.
And unfortunately, I highly doubt that he will publish a video saying, "I was wrong. Here's the other angle."
Yeah, that is just bunk. Say lovey.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. I think everybody's in agreement that we want to know what happened, but we got to be careful with the information that we receive and confirming it.
Well, yeah, it's like freaking Candace Owens, or any of these other people that are kind of grifting off the death of somebody that they call a friend, right? And they're trying to
Owens sources
generate
always trust
as much.
It's me, bro. It's behind a paywall. I'll release it eventually.
Yeah. Chocolate Milk on Ko-Fi says, "Are you still selling Holosun optics?" Only to individuals that I know. I had scammers try and take like $3,000 from me in fraudulent purchases, so that wasn't fun. So I took optics off the website. Penile Shilling Inside for 2 says, "PSI, Jew said my name again. Skibbity Toilet Riz."
Skibbity Toilet Riz. Okay.
One-Handed Bandit for 5 says, "Bullets definitely do weird stuff. I got shot in the chest by 7.62 by 54R. Bigger entrance. It also completely missed my lungs, but came out behind them." That is a wild story, if true, bro. How did you get shot in the chest? I mean, I imagine this was overseas, hopefully not in a hunting accident, but that is a wild story, bro. If true, I'm very glad that you're here to tell the story.
Unless his hunting partner is Dick Cheney.
Patches O'Hoolian for 5 says, "Do you guys listen to Stone Choir?" I don't. I'm not familiar with the brand, or the band, sorry. Thank you, Patches O'Hoolian. Moonman for 5 says he used to have a Telegram channel. He had to open comments and he had open comments. They were always fun. I will Minecraft you for playing these at 2x speed. Listen, if it's too fast for you, you just got to think a little faster. Okay, you'll keep up. I have faith in you, Moonman.
Hey, real quick, is
Bert
my
for 2.
microphone sounding okay?
It was glitching out, but talk again.
Okay. I think it got switched to a different microphone and got kind of messed up. But is it
all right, you're back
sounding
now.
good now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, sweet.
Bert for 2 says, "Have they found a serial number on the rifle?" I'm sure they have. I mean, there's lots of inconsistencies with the story, but making up a second angle or a second shooter type of theory doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it doesn't help anyone or provide any additional clarity or information. I think it's just bunk.
From the knowledge I have, Just real quick, I think they traced it back to the guy's grandfather, and it was supposedly a gift officially or something like that.
Right, in those leaked text messages where it's like, this rifle from my grandfather. My father is calling me asking where is my grandfather's rifle. You know I used my grandfather's rifle to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Coppertone for 2 says, night night. Have a good night, man. I appreciate you, dude. Stealth for 5 says, I've been shot, therefore I'm an expert cell phone video analyst. True. Look at this distorted blur as I declare it's a thing to fit my theory. Yeah, but that's the thing, man. There are like 12 different angles, and if you look at all of the angles, it seems that the bullet comes from where they purported the bullet to come from.
Well, in a couple of the videos, you can see the guy get up and take off after the shot.
Well, again, that's really grainy and blurry, but yeah, that does appear that is the shooter.
You can see someone on the roof taking off running, and if it's his security, then well, there's problems.
Well, no, again, rooftop security, man. I don't know why they're just so incompetent at that thing.
Non-existent.
Stealth for 5 says, I've been shot, therefore... Oh, yeah, we already looked at that. But yeah, thank you, Stealth. Chud for 2 says, oh, he's a vet. You gotta listen, bro. They can't lie. True. Abnormal Thoughts for 5 says, hydrostatic shock to the spinal column, neck can cause a body to tense. Well, I mean, he got shot in the neck. So whether he got shot this way or this way, like it's a neck/spinal hit. And yeah, I imagine a 30-06 moving at like 2,500 FPS or whatever it's hitting at that distance. It's going to cause a lot of shock to your spine. Thank you, Abnormal Thoughts. Moonman for 5 says, here's my wild conspiracy of how. Is always so gay. Who followed by why is all that matters. As always, the work of the Jews. Ooh. Oh, I see, yes. Indeed. It was actually a Mossad agent. It was a ritualistic sacrifice on top of a menorah. Andy for 5 says, the best way to identify a true Christian nationalist is calling the capital of the Byzantium Empire Constantinople. Turkey is fake and lame. True, yes. If we could Minecraft Turkey and return to Byzantium, that could be cool. Abnormal Thoughts for $20. Thank you very much, sir. Says the body recoil is not always the same direction as the path of the bullet, but likely is in this case. Kennedy, for instance, had the counteracting force of his face and skull leaving his head to push him towards the bullet. Right, yeah, no, wacky things can definitely happen, but if you get shot from the front and you see your whole body shrink backwards, basically like this, it appears to indicate that he got shot from the front. And you can see his earpiece fly, you can see his back and his shirt bulge backwards away from the shot. That seems to check out in my case. But yeah, the JFK one is an interesting case. One day is full, indeed. And I think... yeah. Genosian on Ko-Fi says, I wish Paul was still around so we could get a breakdown like Miami-Dade. Also, I'm unemployed, so not that many more Ko-Fis till I get a new one. Well, hey, yeah, get a job, you bum, as I stream from my office, which is just my computer room. But yeah, no, good luck in your job search, man. And if you need any help, feel free to reach out and we'll see what we can do for you. But I appreciate it. Thanks, man. All right, gents. Well, hey, 2 hours in, and we basically ended like exactly where we needed to. So, John, what do you got coming up, man?
Not much. I am now officially on my weekend, so I'm gonna smoke cigars and shoot guns and have a grand old time. Pancakes are better and Christ is king.
Based. Richard, what do you got going on?
Well, I have some fun things happening. Supposedly some forced reset triggers on the way. I'm going to order a case of 9mm this weekend, and I've got some new appliances coming. Great. Good times. But if you guys don't know, if you're not aware, I take the streams and I cut them up into small bite-sized segments. Easier to watch, easier to share. It's a lot of fun. If you could go over and subscribe, it really helps us out.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so we got some more stuff coming up. I am doing a ton of shooting this week. I know I don't post a lot of videos on this channel anymore, but listen, guys, I have never shot more than this. I'm shooting 500 rounds a day. More tomorrow, up until Area 3, which is on Friday and Saturday. So I'm shooting like 3,000 rounds this week. But, yes, we got more videos coming out, more practice to get done, and we have some videos in the tank for the end of the year, because we're going to try and content dump on you guys a little later. Check out gun.deals if you want weekly gun reviews and other stuff. We'll have more stuff for Wednesday and later on. Fingers crossed for a dedicated PSI hit piece, expose, top 10 funniest memes of all time on the channel. And Moonman is coming in to ruin my flow. Says, for 5, Dank's vaguely ethnic ass is going into camp with Richard for his pancake lust.
Whoa,
It's the sinful lust of pancakes.
It's not my fault that they're better.
This is a Waffle House, okay? Keep your...
No, this is a focus stream.
Anyways, gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.